Let me ask you something. Have you ever done everything right in a relationship only for her to slowly lose interest? And you never understood why? You were consistent. You were kind. You were even available whenever she needed you. But still, she became distant, less affectionate, less impressed, less interested. And then, one day, you find yourself asking, what did I do wrong? Here's the hard truth. It's not always what you did. Sometimes, it's what you kept doing, thinking it was the right thing. That's what this video is about. We're breaking down 9 things smart men should never do with women, especially if they want to be respected, desired, and taken seriously in a relationship. And trust me, mistake number 7, that one, it's the one that even intelligent, successful, emotionally aware men fall for. And by the time they realize it, the damage is already done. So, stay with me. Because every point we cover here, it's not just about avoiding mistakes. It's about becoming a man who leads with confidence, calm, and clarity. Now let's begin with something you might be doing right now, and not even know it's chipping away at your respect. 1. Over-explaining yourself. Have you ever caught yourself going on and on, trying to make her understand why you said what you said? Why you did what you did? Why your intentions were good? You're not trying to manipulate. You just want to be understood. But here's the truth. When you're constantly over-explaining yourself, you're not showing maturity. You're showing insecurity. And whether she says it out loud or not, she feels it. Over time, over-explaining gives off one message. I don't trust my own decisions unless you approve of them. And that's not attractive. That's exhausting. A woman doesn't need a man who justifies every move. She needs a man who knows who he is, makes his decision, and stands by it, calmly, confidently, and without apology. So the next time you catch yourself spiraling into explanation mode, stop, breathe, say what needs to be said. Once. Then let your actions reinforce your words. That's leadership. That's clarity. And that's the kind of energy that earns her respect, not just her attention. 2. Always being available. I get it. You want to show her that you're there for her, that you'll drop everything to support her. But let's be honest. No one respects someone who doesn't have boundaries. When you're always at her beck and call, you make her depend on you in a way that isn't healthy. She starts expecting you to always be available, and that creates emotional dependence. This doesn't mean you should stop being supportive. It means you need to have a life too. You need to stay busy with your own goals, hobbies, and friends. Having a life outside of her makes you more attractive because it reminds her that you're a man with a purpose. And that's magnetic. For instance, let's say she calls you in the middle of the workday to complain about something that's bothering her. You drop everything and rush to her side. Now, don't get me wrong, caring for her is important. But let's ask, what message are you sending when you stop everything just to be there in her moment of discomfort? Instead, respond with something like, I'm here for you, babe. Let's talk tonight when I'm free to give you the attention you deserve. It shows that you value your time, and it shows her that you're the kind of man who balances his responsibilities with his relationship. 3. Saying yes to avoid conflict. If you're a guy who says yes to avoid conflict, you're not showing strength. You're showing weakness. You might think it's easier to just go along with what she says, but here's the problem. Every time you say yes when you really mean no, you chip away at your own authenticity. She'll start feeling like she doesn't know who you really are because you're too scared to stand up for your needs or opinions. Let's break it down with a quick scenario. You'd rather watch a rom-com because she loves it, but you actually want to watch a sports game. Instead of being honest, you sit through the movie, irritated, and then blow up when you've had enough. Now, you've created unnecessary tension. And she's not even sure why you're upset, because you didn't communicate your feelings. Smart men speak up. It's not about being rude. It's about respecting your own boundaries and having a healthy, honest conversation. Number 4. Ignoring your own goals to please her. Now, this is tricky. We all know that in a relationship, compromise is important. You want to be there for her. But sacrificing your own goals to constantly accommodate her? That's where you start losing yourself. When a man loves a woman, he should be supportive. Yes, but you can't lose your own ambition in the process. If she asks you to put aside something that's important to you just to keep her happy, you're not helping her. You're helping yourself lose respect and your voice as a man. Let's paint a picture. Imagine that you're working on a project that could advance your career, but your partner wants you to cancel your plans and spend time with her instead. While it's sweet that she wants to spend time with you, if you keep putting your dreams on hold, you'll eventually resent her for holding you back. And here's the kicker. She will eventually resent you too, for not being the man you were when she first fell for you. Women want a man with vision, a man who knows where he's going and who pulls her along for the ride. Not someone who just says yes to everything to keep the peace. So, don't sacrifice your dreams, pursue your goals, and let her join you in that journey. She'll respect you more when she sees you working hard towards something. And honestly, you'll have more to offer as a partner when you're successful. Number 5. Oversharing your insecurities. Early on, let's talk about vulnerability for a second. There's nothing wrong with being open about your feelings and your insecurities, but oversharing them too soon? Not a good move as a man. When a man dives too deep into his emotional baggage too early, it shifts the emotional dynamic. Instead of the relationship being about the two of you, it becomes about fixing him. That's a heavy burden to place on someone when they're just getting to know you. Here's an example. You've been dating a few weeks, and you're getting closer. You decide to open up about how your last relationship ended badly, and you talk about all the ways you've been hurt. That's fine, but when this becomes a regular theme in the conversation, you start unintentionally putting the pressure on her to be your emotional caretaker. Smart men do not look to women to fix their emotional wounds. They recognize their own emotions, process them, and come to the table whole. Women are naturally nurturing, yes, but that doesn't mean they want to be responsible for making you feel emotionally secure all the time. Show vulnerability in the right way. Share your thoughts, but also stay grounded in your own emotional strength. Give her room to connect with you without carrying the weight of your past. Number 6. Letting her lead the emotional pace 100% of the time. Here's something many men don't realize. Balance in the emotional pace of the relationship is essential. And you cannot leave the emotional pacing solely in her hands. What do I mean by this? Well, many men make the mistake of letting her set the tone, whether it's in communication, conflict, or affection. It's like a one-sided emotional traffic light. And while women do express a lot of their needs emotionally, a relationship needs mutual emotional leadership. For example, let's say she's feeling distant, and you don't address it right away because you're waiting for her to bring it up, thinking she'll take the lead. But she might feel like you don't care enough to act first. On the flip side, if you don't express your own emotional needs and constantly try to go with the flow, she might feel like she has to carry the weight of the relationship's emotional direction. That's exhausting. The key here? Be a man who can set the emotional pace. Don't just sit back and wait for her to dictate everything. Be emotionally present, lead with your heart, and create a balance in the relationship where both of you feel heard and cared for. 7. Apologizing for being masculine. The harmless nice guy trap. Here's a fact. Real men are masculine, and that's not something to apologize for. There's this dangerous trend where some men feel they have to soften their masculinity to please women. Maybe they think they need to be the harmless nice guy, overly accommodating, constantly second-guessing themselves, and never stepping into their true power. Now, hear me out. Being nice is great. But being nice at the expense of your authenticity? That's dangerous. When you apologize for being who you are, when you hold back your natural assertiveness or leadership qualities because you're scared of being too much, you're showing insecurity. And guys, women can sense this from miles away. You see, women are attracted to strength, not arrogance, not dominance, but strength that says, I know who I am, and I'm okay with that. This doesn't mean you have to be rude, selfish, or dismissive. It means you need to embrace your masculine energy without apology. Lead when necessary, speak your truth, and don't shrink yourself to make her comfortable. She wants to see the real man who isn't afraid to express himself, be bold, and step up when needed. Number 8. Trying to fix her emotions instead of just holding space. This is an important one for a lot of men. You've been there, right? She's upset. You want to help. You want to fix it. And I get it. There's this deep instinct in men to protect, to solve problems. But here's the thing. Sometimes women don't need you to fix the problem. They need you to hold space for their emotions. Think about it. When she's frustrated or upset, maybe after a hard day at work, she doesn't necessarily want advice or solutions. She needs comfort, empathy, and understanding. If you immediately jump in with, here's what you should do, or, well, if you just look at it this way, you might actually shut her down emotionally. Instead, simply listen. Ask her how she feels. Hold her hand, or wrap your arm around her. Let her know you're present and that her feelings are valid. Here's a real-life example. She comes home stressed from work. Instead of jumping into problem-solving mode, ask her, what's on your mind? And simply listen. Sometimes, that's all it takes. And guess what? You're not weak for being there emotionally. In fact, you'll earn more respect and attraction when you're calm, composed, and emotionally available without trying to fix everything. Number 9. Ignoring boundaries, yours and hers. Every relationship has them, clear lines of respect, emotional needs, and personal space. But here's the issue. Some men, even the smart ones, think they can push those boundaries. They'll try to test limits or convince themselves that the rules don't apply to them. Here's the reality. Boundaries are sacred. If you consistently ignore her emotional boundaries or disrespect your own, the trust and respect in your relationship will erode over time. Here are some examples. 1. You're constantly late for dates, even after she's asked you to be on time. 2. You avoid tough conversations because you're scared to face the discomfort. 3. You invade her personal space emotionally or physically without asking. Remember, respecting boundaries, whether yours or hers, shows that you value her as a person and that you have respect for yourself as well. When boundaries are crossed, it creates tension and disconnection. So here's the deal. Be firm with your boundaries, and don't be afraid to enforce them. And if she sets one, respect it. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect. Conclusively, we've covered 9 things smart men should avoid in relationships to keep attraction and respect alive. And they are: 1. Don't over-explain yourself. 2. Don't always be available. 3. Don't say yes to avoid conflict. 4. Don't ignore your goals to please her. 5. Don't overshare your insecurities. 6. Don't let her control the emotional pace. 7. Don't apologize for your masculinity. 8. Don't try to fix her emotions. Just hold space. 9. Don't ignore boundaries, yours and hers. The key to being a smart man in love is to know your value, know her value, and never stop growing together. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever fallen into one of these traps? Or maybe you've caught yourself making one of these mistakes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need this. Remember, in all you do, always let love breed.